Before I made a six-figure salary, I wish someone had shared this exact video with me, which is why at the end of the year, in truly the last week of the year, I want to share this with you so you can have what I can only wish I had a couple of years ago. Now, I have to say this is going to be a different approach than the stuff you read in books, watching videos on mindset shift, because this is personally something I have used and not studied and read about. So let me share how I changed my life around so I can explain what about the strategy really works. Now, initially, like everybody else, I studied, did my bachelor's and master's, and right out of school, I was picked up by the big four consulting. I personally enjoyed the first few months or years, but soon as you get into the corporate world, the charm of working and earning your own money fizzled out for me. Mind you, I did dabble in a few areas from finance to project management, research consulting, to supporting and leading change across the organization. Throughout my journey, one thing stayed with me. I wasn't willing to sit and muck. And this is the first concept of the strategy I will share soon, but it helps to join the dots. So you'd say, what does this really mean? Well, not sitting in muck means the moment I felt that what I was achieving or receiving was not what I wanted, I was willing to change it without blaming or complaining. And this happened multiple times across my career, from being in an uncomfortable working environment in teams that had high turnover to toxic company culture and sometimes even hostile and harassing colleagues. But let's be frank, just willingness to move to a better place is not sufficient. I needed to actually walk the walk, which means do my research on where I thought I would fit best and then take conscious action to get there. Whether that meant putting nights of work or literally spending months planning and making my jump. But there's a big disclaimer here. Where you think you will fit best will change too. Now, what I wanted to do 5 years ago may not agree with my current self. But that's the beauty of experience and change. It's okay to want something else and even more okay to not want something. But what's important in all this change is to know your yardstick. What I'm trying to say is know what metric you're using to judge your future actions, if it's monetary growth or happy relationships or personal growth. Whatever that may be for you, ensure your change is in alignment with your yardstick. For me, it was clear that I could only perform in a respectful, collaborative, supportive team that believed in a learning culture. So if that required me to travel all the way from Asia to the Western world with a suitcase and high hopes, I did that. And that brings me to the final piece before we get into the strategy, which is I frequently practice reflective learning. Now, reflective learning theory is a concept in education systems around the world that believe that if a student, after learning the theory of a lesson, tries to think and reflect on how it can be applied to their day-to-day and life in general, they can find more meaning in the theory learned. So, in summary, it's basically integrating learning with reflection, which works because then you have these disjointed experiences in the past that you can connect with a common thread and attach meaning to thanks to your learning. But I have found more value for this technique with respect to understanding myself. So whenever I learn something about myself from a certain experience, maybe how I handled a relationship, or maybe something as small as how I navigated a difficult meeting, I reflect on my past experiences to draw parallels and identify patterns. What that necessarily does is help me understand what guides my actions and decisions. So next time when I am in a situation that is new to me, I am more self-aware of my strengths, but also what I lack, and so be better armed to take a future decision, not based on how Tasha normally does it, but how Tasha can excel at it. So we're not trying to better ourselves here, we are trying to best ourselves here. Now here's the interesting part. I just shared 4 beliefs that I have in my strategy to elevate my life. But that's all part of my strategy. So what's yours? Think of it this way, businesses spend thousands and millions of dollars in creating a strategy because they have limited resources and they want to maximize their chance of success. So why in life do we live our days dependent on fate or others' expectations of us and without a sense of purpose? This is the mindset shift I've been talking about, which can literally take you from broke to unlimited wealth you want to achieve, whether that's in monetary, emotional or social fulfillment terms. Make an effort today to take action to actually define your goals, the strategy to achieve them, the values and principles you hold dear, the personal development activities you wish to take up, and your current achievements and the vision you hold for yourself. Put all of that down on a piece of paper for your next year and years to come, so you don't just see your life go by, but actually lived. And if you are interested in taking action, check out my video right here where I talk about reigniting that lost drive, even when you may be close to quitting.